BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Hello, and indeed, ahoy, hoy. Welcome, one and all. Round up, and bring people. That was about to go places, which I stopped it from doing. I was going to be very specific about the kind of people. Then I realised, based on a conversation that we had before the show started, that might sound wrong. So I decided just to make it general people. Because people generally are people.
Okay.
There are general people. Yes.
No
right,
Piper
so
of Hamlin things going on then, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. It's episode 624 of BRB UK. I'm Dan, I'm one of your hosts. Good day, everybody. Hope you're well. Full house in the hostiness this week, which is a rare treat these days. So hello, Tim.
Hello, Dan.
Hello, Coleman.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Tired.
You are tired?
Too much work.
Oh, dear. Too much
Everything's
work.
going wrong.
Mm-hmm. I know. Those other people. Curse them.
Yes.
Curse them. All the other people. So what's got your goat in the petrol station this week then?
Everything's on fire, which is terrible when you work in a petrol station.
For a petrol station, that is bad news.
It's a bad state of affairs in any business, but in your business, that's terrible.
That's right.
Could get explosive.
Dear. Yes. No, okay, that is a genuinely unhappy Coleman, I have to say.
I'm not unhappy. I'm just...
Coleman's never unhappy.
I've got the next 4 days off, though, so that's good.
Oh, well, that might make you unhappy. You don't like not working.
I have plans.
No, I think he quite likes not working. It's just a lot of work gets created for him, Tim, I think.
I like money. I think that's the issue.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Money is good. Yes, so chaps, it's been a week of stuff, largely involving PlayStation, which we'll get onto in a moment. How did you spend your PSN free time over the weekend?
Well, I tell you what, I decided I was going to play the Mortal Kombat 1 expansion pack, story expansion, which wasn't that
Mortal
great,
Kombat, I love its work, yep.
I have a physical copy of Mortal Kombat. The PlayStation that I have to play that on isn't the main PlayStation, so it's. No, I do the thing.
You are a secondary.
You
PlayStation.
are a fancy Coleman.
Well, no,
Coleman.
I do the thing that I used to do when I lived with Tim. I set his PlayStation as my main one, so he could play all my games, and I do that with a man called Rick now. And I was I was going to play, and then it went, you can't use any of your DLC because it can't be verified because the PSN is down.
Oh, good.
Went, oh, damn. And then I kind of sat there for a bit playing on my Steam Deck, and I went, hold on, what if I just put this console as my main console? And I did that, and it went, oh, you can play everything now. So that's how I spent my weekend. Just not being affected at all and playing games.
Lovely.
I fortunately had already chosen to visit the lovely Stockport. Go play a card game tournament, which is not not affected by PSN.
Oh, good. Tim's been to another card game tournament. I can hardly contain myself with all the excitement of tales of him coming third out of 3 once again, but it's still the podium finish.
I ended up 25th out of 100, which wasn't terrible, but wasn't
it's not
quite
good
where
enough.
I wanted to be.
Do better. You're embarrassing us, Tim.
Try hard. I won my first 3 games
absolutely
2-0, and then I lost my next 3 games, and then won my last one. So, it started very well, then went downhill, and then picked up a bit. But yeah, it was okay.
And Stockport, a review of Stockport. How was Stockport?
I didn't see much of it. The burger place we went to was quite nice. The gaming place we went to was quite big and nice, and the people were nice, and everyone I saw was nice, and everyone I played against was nice. So it was generally nice.
It was nice. It was nice. It wasn't great. It was nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, I didn't go anywhere as exciting as Stockport. So I'm still trying to get ready to move house. That's still fun, super fun grown-up things, which I won't bore you with. But I think it might happen soon, which will be very exciting.
It's hard to leave the gravitational pull of Slough.
Do I need any help? Do I need any help? I would love some help, Coleman.
Okay. Tim, go help Dan.
Thanks, mate. You're the best.
No,
anytime, buddy.
You are the best. Shall we talk about what we done play? Because we do have a bit more PlayStation news to get to, and we need to be running a tight old ship today. So I can probably cover mine off first. It's just a bit of a nothing brand new that I've been playing. But just there's been a lot of good updates for games recently. I still haven't actually touched Destiny 2 for about 2 months now. So I actually should go and play that latest active
Are you sure it
expansion
still
thing.
exists?
I hear it's all right. But I actually sunk my teeth. Yes.
I was just going to say, I watched a video from I Hate Everything about Destiny 2, which he's been quite down on Destiny 2 since it launched. But the very last video he's done for what was the last shape? It was Shape of Final Shape. That's the last. Yes,
that's the last
story.
expansion. Yeah.
Yes, he did a very long video on that, and it's very, very good. And I was going to send it to you, but I remember you saying you weren't playing, so I didn't know if
it's fine. I might give it a go. Well, I need to catch myself up, which is something I never thought was over Destiny. But I have actually, what piqued my interest was the No Man's Sky update. And I just thought I'd give it a shout because it's ridiculous the amount of effort they are still pouring into that game. So this is the Worlds Part 2 update, where basically they've just gone round and made the whole universe more fabulous, which is, something to do on a spare day. You have, what should we do today? I don't know, make the whole universe fabulous. Yeah, it actually finally, you kind of remember like the sizzle reel, amazing target rendery things we saw way back when they announced No Man's Sky. It actually now properly is starting to look like that. It's they've introduced all kinds of great new planets.
You say that
like
every
gas
expansion.
giants. Yeah, I know. All kinds of new brilliant terrains, new bits of lore, new stories. There's another kind of community expedition out. It just looks fantastic. They've kind of really revamped underwater exploration. So there's like kind of whole new areas to worlds that you never knew previously existed. I just wanted to give them a shout out because I just kind of every couple of months or so, I just go, oh, look, there's new great stuff. No Man's Sky. It gives me a nice warm fuzzy feeling going back into that, knowing that was 30 quid well spent nearly 10 years ago.
Yeah,
I just wanted to give it a bit of a shout out just because most of us probably have it somewhere in a gaming library, be it on PlayStation, Xbox, or Steam. But it's well worth digging it out again because they've really done a blinder with this latest update. So yeah, I just want to give it a shout out and tell people to check it out. I've been loving it.
Dan,
I'm looking forward to playing that. Never mind.
Sorry. I was just going to say, have you tried any of the underwater sections yet? Because apparently there was one bit that was a bit broken but has been patched a bit, and I was just wondering how that was performing.
I haven't got underwater yet, I must admit. I've been rather distracted because I must say I've never really got much bigly into the underwater bit on No Man's Sky. It always felt perhaps a little bit tacked on. But it looks like they've really made an effort with trying to sort it out with this release. I hear there are now prawns. That is on their patch notes.
Oh,
finally.
Prawns.
Report back when you fully submerged yourself in that world then. Let us know.
What you did there, I see it. Well done, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Prawns. Prawns. There are prawns. Underwater explorers can now happen upon prawns. It's amazing. It's the future, I tell you.
Do they have prawn rings, though? That's the question.
I'm sure you could probably coax them into a ring-type formation. They look pretty good, those prawny renders.
Okay.
If you really want to see, I can share my screen, but Coleman will kill me since it'll mess up his video feed. Prawns. There are prawns.
I'm looking forward to...
Do you want to know what else there is?
Do
you want to know what else there is, Tim, in addition to prawns?
No, I know what Coleman wants to say.
All right, you ask first, Coleman, then I shall
No, it's fine. Go back to talking
things.
about prawns. It's fine.
Right.
I'll just be here twiddling my thumbs.
Okay. Giant squids. Could I interest you in a giant squid? It's giant squids now. It's not just prawns. It is like a smorgasbord of underwater fabulousness. There's also flipping. I don't know. I tried to swear and remembered I shouldn't. There's also flipping manta rays. That's right. Manta rays, prawns.
Have they got a space kraken, though?
Giant squids. It's like it's a triple threat of underwater fun, is what it is.
No space kraken, no interest.
No space. Why do they have to be in space?
Well,
seahorses?
Everything's in space. Everything technically is in space. So any kraken would be a space kraken, I guess.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, check it out. It's all kinds of fabulousness, this new expansion. A lot of not only visual overhauls, but the way the universe is generated overhauls. Lots of great quality of life updates. It's a lot more easy to do things now. And that's, check it out. You've probably got it in your queue somewhere, or in a download thing somewhere, or in a cupboard somewhere, or somewhere just generally. So go and check it out. My recommendation of the week.
Do you have giant brontosaurus type creatures yet, like in the original reveal trailer?
I haven't happened upon one yet.
I'm waiting for that.
Blink.
As soon as it looks like that, I'm in for it.
Yeah.
Cool. Tim, what you been playing?
I have been playing a little bit of Eternal Strands. Anyone doesn't know, it's an action RPG made by Yellow Brick Games. This is their first game. Studio headed up, or at least this game is headed up by Mike Laidlaw, who anyone that doesn't know who he is, he previously was in charge of the Dragon Age series at one stage, and he is the person that was in charge of Dragon Age 2 when I went to go visit that BioWare. So that's why I took particular interest in this game, because I like him and I was interested in what he was doing, basically. But yeah, like, it's made by, I don't know how big Yellow Brick Games are, but it seems to be made by a much smaller team than Dragon Age are. And I think that's what I've heard from elsewhere, that it is a smallish team. And it feels a bit reductive to say it feels like a Fisher Price RPG, and I don't know how well that translates outside the UK. I don't know if Fisher Price is in America. I'm not sure.
RPG Price.
Baby's first RPG.
Yeah, it feels a little bit, but that is a bit overly reductive.
The romance scenes were a little bit poorly judged, though, weren't they, in that context?
Well, but it does feel like a bit like your first RPG, but that makes it kind of approachable. And there's some like good design decisions that does make it approachable. For instance, in the crafting system, which is quite expansive and quite good, like there are various levels of crafting components, and they are signified by your standard kind of RPG colors, you know, green, blue, and various different colors of things. I'm imagining it goes up to like gold and other things above that. But then,
Lorks of mercy.
Yes, but then like it has a star rating system to that as well. So green is 1 star, or maybe 2, I think, because there's a standard below that, and then blue is 2 star, and you know, like, it kind of just scales up from there. So it kind of like, if you know what the colors are, you don't really need that system, but it does make it accessible to people that aren't aware that that's a thing as well, basically. And I think, yeah, there's some good design decisions in that. The general kind of premise, it's kind of a fantasy-based RPG. You can tell this was made by the people that used to work on Dragon Age, because there's definitely some similarities, let's say. There's some things that are very much like, there's some design decisions that were obviously taken a long while before they probably knew what was going on with Dragon Age Veilguard. But there's some similarities in presentation and in story. Like, there is basically an area of the world that's been kind of sectioned off by a magical force field called the Veil that's impenetrable to the people outside the world. And they did that to kind of seal off this magical kind of kingdom from the rest of the world, as the rest of the world was crumbling and going into war and corruption and all this type of stuff. But the people in the rest of the world blame magic users for turning their back on the rest of the world. So that anyone that's a magic user, and they call them weavers in this game, that's outside in that world, is kind of shunned and kind of looked down upon by the rest of society because they are a magic user, because they're blamed for everything going to pot, basically. And seemingly a bit unfairly, and kind of, you know, they're kind of maligned in society and kind of shunned as people. So you are a weaver that's traveling around with a weaver band, which is a kind of group of magic users. And
it's like magic Wurzels is what you're making it sound like.
Kind of.
Right, magic Wurzels with you.
And so you're traveling in a caravan, and you are approaching this realm that's been closed off. Right. And you think that you're trying to find a way into this area that no one else has got into for the last 50 years, basically. And you come across a thing, I won't spoil too much of what's going on, but you come across something that helps you then traverse that veil to get into that other side. It's also got some hints of purple as well in the kind of design, which again was a design decision probably taken a long while before they knew that was going off of that. They've also then made some very big distinctions. Like there is an Ash Peak Drake, and it's definitely a Drake. It's not a dragon, even though it looks exactly like a dragon. It's legally distinctive from a dragon. Definitely different. An Ash Peak Drake is not a fire-breathing dragon, even though it looks and walks and talks exactly like a fire-breathing dragon. But yeah,
it's actually the mortal enemy of the Ash Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, literally, I don't want to get into the whole Drake, like Kendrick Dragon Lamar kind of beef, but yeah, like there's definitely some stuff going on there. But yeah, like there's a few things where they seem to have taken some decisions to label things in a definitely different way, so that not necessarily so they don't get in legal trouble, but so they're not entirely stepping on someone's patch. But it does seem like a much more accessible kind of action RPG. They've also roped in like some particular a particular thing to the combat system and to the world, where you are using different magic based on like frost and fire and gravity and stuff like this. And then they have effects that will do certain things in the environment. Like you can use the ice to like cross a bit of the path that's on fire. You can make an ice path so you can get through it. You can also use it to make kind of ice bridges and structures and things. But then you can also use them to freeze enemies in place. And then you get some like big colossi type enemies where you can kind of freeze their foot to the floor so you can then climb up them and do stuff to interact.
Oh, cool.
And that seems like, as I said, it's a bit simplistic in some terms, and some of that can be a little bit fiddly at times. Like it doesn't always work in the manner you would expect it to, but it's well implemented and combat is enjoyable. And there seems to be like enough variety in enemies and stuff. I'm only like a few hours into the game, having got through the first couple of areas. But yeah, like as I said, it's a bit by the numbers, and I think if you're very used to RPGs, it might be a bit overly kind of, as I said, Fisher Price being the slightly reductive term to go with it. But there's some fun to be had there, and there's some threads, and threads is kind of a bit of a pun on some of the things there, because the strands is how you weave the magic and all that type of stuff. But there's some threads of the story and just in how the combat works that is enough interesting just from the first few hours that makes me go, okay, there's something here and it's worth probably persevering with for a while. I've been playing it on the Xbox Series S. It's available on Game Pass, so you can play it for free.
Oh,
There's also
a
demo out on Steam, and I think this could be a good one for the Steam Deck as well. So yeah, like it's definitely worth trying, especially if an accessible RPG that apparently is only about 20 hours long. And that to me sounds like a good thing these days. And it helps fill some time between this week in the run up to Avowed. But yeah, like I've actually I kind of only jumped on it just to try it out and have a look, but it's actually entertained me more than I thought it would, and I can recommend it. Like I think there's some good stuff in there, and it's worth checking out what they're doing. I do think this might be even better within like the next game that this studio works on. I'll be even more interested to see. But for a first time out for a smaller studio, I think it shows some promise, and it's definitely worth checking out if you've got Game Pass or want to check out the demo on Steam.
Okay. Cool. Well, that sounds right. But I mean, I don't know. I know Dragon Age 2 got a fair bit of abuse back in the day for perhaps dumbing it down a bit too much. But I don't know. I can kind of see if you're a bit time poor, as I think we all are, actually having something that isn't mechanically too complicated is sometimes quite a nice palate cleanser. It's just something you can dip into.
Yeah.
Enjoy the time you have with it, and you know it's not gonna change the world or leave that much of a lasting impression on you. But sometimes it, I suppose, can be just what you need. So yeah, I do hear what you say though about kind of RPG purists might just look down the nose at it and go, no, it's not a proper RPG. But that's
I'd try it out.
Sometimes all we want is a little bit of a simple game. Just
what did you think, Mr. Coleman?
I thought it was a bit like a baby's first RPG. Like a Fisher Price type RPG.
Right.
If
you could gum it.
Really, it's a bit, a bit redundant.
You could gum it. You could teeth on it.
No, I needed some. I was doing some Game Pass setup stuff on different devices, and I needed something to test with, and that seemed like a pretty good game to test with. I tried it a little bit. Didn't seem like one for me. Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to be a RPG elitist and turn my nose up at that one.
Is that because you've been playing a proper Big P RPG in the form of Kingdom Come Deliverance II?
Well, actually, I was going to say I thought I heard I was a bit overly harsh against Dragon Age Inquisition for someone who, quote, hasn't played the game. So I had another game, Dragon Age Inquisition, and it's still bad. So I put that down.
Fair enough.
And I went to playing Kingdom Come Deliverance II, which is a good RPG. Inquisition? Is it? No, what's it called?
Veilguard.
Veilguard. Thank you.
One,
you get a 5-hour free playthrough if you're on the old EA Play on Game Pass PC, not on console though. Anyway, yes. So I haven't played Kingdom Come Deliverance because when that came out, when it came out, there was a lot of kind of controversy around it. A lot of stuff about diversity not included in the game because it was meant to be kind of sort of semi-realistic and set in Eastern European and way back in olden days.
Yeah.
And
yes,
and it was quite buggy.
Exactly how they spoke in medieval Eastern Europe. All right, Pavlov.
Some of the voice actors do.
All right, really, I had enough beetroot to deal, or
I think you'll find some of the voice actors do. They say Eastern European swear words with a northern accent. But anyway, that's neither here or there. The other reason was it was quite buggy, and I just didn't have the time for it. But the sequel's come out, and it's been getting rave reviews, and I really, really. I got sort of secondhand excitement from other reviewers and needed to give this a go. So I jumped in and I was expecting like harder Skyrim, and that's pretty much what I got, but without the fantasy elements. So this is this all takes place. It is as the name suggests, it is a sequel to the first game, so you are following the same character from the previous game, I believe. However, you don't really need that much onboarding to get you from the previous game to this one. They do have a little bit of a kind of flashback to what happened partway through the game to allude to his past.
Last time on Kingdom Come Deliverance.
It's done in quite a clever way. It's done in quite a clever way, I thought, where they weave it into the story. Yes, I like
just
that.
to set the scene then, so you play a guy called Henry who is as far as I understand,
who
is
everyone
a
loves.
Nobleman.
Yes, but everyone loves Henry for some reason. I think it's down to the voice actor.
Okay.
But yes, so this takes place in 1403 in the
my
Kingdom
favorite
of
medieval
Bohemia.
year, just so you know.
Yeah, and then part of the lands of the Bohemian Crown and the Holy Roman Empire, which is now the Czech Republic, according to Wikipedia, because I don't know these terms. And it's a open world RPG that's done in the first person. If you're watching the video version of this podcast, you'll see some of the footage there. And it's very much, it's kind of a slow paced. It focuses on things like if you're doing sword fighting, then it's not about just sort of slash, block, block, block. It's about picking the directions that you're going to slash in, the points you're going to target. It's if you're making potions, then it's going to an alchemy center, setting up your alchemy book, and then looking through the recipes, memorizing it, then getting a pestle and mortar and grinding out ingredients and boiling the cauldron and putting in the right amounts and crafting the.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does that mean you've ever got halfway through a quest and been inanely bothered about whether or not you left the stove on back at the alchemy place?
It's not that in depth.
Right, okay.
But yes, it kind of prides itself on the in-depth level of all the kind of side components of the RPG that you're doing, and to great effect as well. I am playing this on like a regular playthrough. I've not bumped up to super powerful, but I have been told that is the way you should be playing. And I'll get to why I'm not doing that. But apparently you should be playing it on like the survival mode where you need to make sure you're eating food and you may need to make sure you're doing the right kind of things if you're injured and all these kind of like I've put it on a bog standard like just the normal playthrough because I am mostly playing this on Steam Deck. It's not verified on Steam Deck, but the developers were very adamant, like they are pushing their hardest to get this working as best as they can on Steam Deck, and it does work really well on Steam Deck.
How does it look? Is it pretty good performance, or because it does look like a stunning game, but obviously that's probably on a super high end rig or something like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think the video that I'm showing, I've heard that it's a very good argument for a PlayStation 5 Pro to get it working really well on console. But at the same time, the optimization is really well, which apparently is in part thanks to Xbox, because in order to get the game out on Xbox, they forced them to develop for the Series S. So they had to really work on their optimization to get it running properly. Which hence why it works really well on the Steam Deck. So that's great. But yes, although it plays really well on the Steam Deck, the controls are a little bit fiddly playing that way rather than using a mouse and keyboard. So that's why I've dumbed it down that way. And also text is very small and what have you. But I'm liking the level of immersion. I'm liking the dialogue, the characters, the writing, the exploring. I like elements. There's really cool elements like if you kill someone, you're covered in blood because if you chop a guy's head off, then it's not a clean process. And I kind of forget that each time you do that, you need to go find some way to wash yourself or change your clothes, launder, wash your face down. And if you go walking around covered in blood, then not just like a guard will notice you, but the townsfolk will notice you. They will avoid you. People might ban you from going into shops because you're a crazy person covered in blood. Same if you get too dirty, too muddy. If you go walking at night and you don't have a torch, then soldiers will think you're suspicious because you're sneaking around at night in the dark. It's things like that I really love, and I wish they were in more RPGs because I love stuff like that. It's kind of the thing of it's probably a bad example, but the first Assassin's Creed game when you're trying to, avoid all the guards and stuff around you, and you would make sure not to run anywhere or bump into people because it immediately alerts people. I like that idea, not necessarily that example, but I like that level of immersion where you got to be really careful of the way you're acting, because in a video game, when you're the invincible protagonist, in a lot of cases, you just do dumb things.
Yeah. It does sound like
it's a proper doing dumb things.
Role-playing game. You're actually playing a role.
Yeah. And talking of dumb decisions and their consequences, does that kind of come up in Kingdom Come? So I've heard there's Deliverance II. I've actually heard there's some quite good stuff about seemingly innocuous actions you took earlier in your playthrough really coming home and affecting how later events play out.
I think I need to get like 40 hours into gameplay before I start hitting any of those.
Fair enough.
And considering I'm playing this in two bursts of half an hour play sessions a day on the tube, I don't think I'm going to be hitting that anytime soon.
This is true. But fair enough.
It's one I'm going to continue playing and just keep loving. I really, really like this one. It's done really well. And it's the first case of CryEngine I've seen run really well on a Steam Deck. So,
I have a question, Mr. Coleman, and it's a very personal question.
Sure.
Not like, I'm not asking you to, give away any of your secrets or anything. Are you hung like a horse? No,
right.
No, like, I don't know whether I would love or hate this game. And I'm really unsure. Like, what do you think, from knowing my tastes and knowing my level of patience with the game? What do you think? Do you think it's one for me or not? I'm thinking not, but I don't know.
I mean, if you put it on novice mode,
burn.
I mean, considering I'm playing Eternal Strands and you're playing Kingdom Come Deliverance this week, there is quite a different end to the scales on that front.
That is fair, and I'm the same as you. As I've gotten older, I tend not to play the really in-depth, lengthy games. Says the guy who spent 200 hours playing Cyberpunk. But even if I do put a lot of time into a game, I like it to be kind of fast-paced and still immersive. And this is very much different to what I would normally like. I don't know why it got its hooks in me, but it really has. And I will recommend this game to absolutely anyone. However, on first appearance, I would assume no, Tim, not for you. However, I think you should give it a go.
Okay, interesting.
Now, and I am might come up in sales later on in the year, I would have thought. So.
Yeah, I got it pretty cheap on CD keys on day one. But I think the price has been bumped up since then. Although I do wish I bought it on console a little bit because, desktop at desk, Steam Deck on tube. Don't really like playing Steam Deck in bed. I like playing console in bed. This would be a nice, I just want to immerse myself.
You've got very high maintenance in your middle age.
Yeah.
What's the optimum toilet gaming device here? So you've got tube covered by Steam Deck, bed, console,
mobile,
desk, desktop,
Game Boy Pi.
I have to go and get.
Oh, nice! Ooh. That is the correct answer.
Soon to be the brick because I've got a new device. I've got my eye on. I might order soon from China.
Ooh.
China.
Oh.
Anyway, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. That is a recommend. Although, if you want to get into number one, I hear they patched the holy hell out of it. It plays a lot well. I don't know if it will play that well on the Steam Deck. But go and knock your socks off. You'll probably find that one cheaper.
Nice. Nice.
Who do news?
Let's do news because there was quite a lot of news.
Yeah,
we've already poked fun at PlayStation for being offline, but I was a bit surprised they didn't acknowledge it in any way in the state of play. To be honest with you, I was expecting at least a little bit like, yeah, sorry,
they probably recorded it,
especially since they led with Monster Hunter Wilds as well.
Yeah,
which they had to extend the beta.
Yeah, they've added a new. Well, I didn't even know the beta was happening that got disturbed, and they went, "We're going to do another one, and it's going to take place exactly at the point where Coleman's away." So, so I don't get to play any of it, but I've got the game pre-ordered, so I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, it looks a bit like butts, though. I have to say.
Yeah, I'm quietly optimistic, even though I did give it a bit of a slating after playing the beta last time. Mainly over optimization, but it's been time. We'll see. What shall we talk about? I highlighted a few I wanted to talk about. I don't know if you guys added to that at all.
I think most of the ones I want to talk about.
I agree with you, stuff that I'm excited about. It was great to see, just going from the top, kind of a new Shinobi. I think that's one of those games that I just kind of have good wistful feelings about from my youth. That's spelt with 2 O's and an F.
I think I'm more interested in this because of the developers as well, though. No,
because they're the same ones who did Streets of Rage 4, weren't they?
Yeah,
yes. Which some would say is the Streets of Rage for the new age.
Very much so. And this is a Shinobi for the new age, but this looked good. It looks like they've taken some of the essence of the original Shinobi games and mixed that with some of the kind of platforming and action of modern takes of this sort of game. And kind of blending that together quite well. I quite like the look of this. It looks like it's going to be fun.
Yeah, completely agree. No, it's nice to see this franchise have a proper redo. I think that kind of sits well with the original for me. Anyway, I very much got the right vibes from it. So yeah, good stuff.
I think it was last year that Sega said that they were going to start an initiative to go through their classic IPs that they just don't touch anymore and try to breathe some life into them. And their first instance is to go with Shinobi, which I would like a big AAA Shinobi kind of game, but at the same time...
That would be Shinobi, by the way, if it was AAA.
But yeah, Art of Vengeance... done by the same guys who did Streets of Rage 4, that it does make sense, and that does actually give me incentive to want to pick this up. Although it is a single player experience, and I really enjoyed the multiplayer experience of Streets of Rage. Sorry, there's a cat going nuts behind me. One sec.
The one that I thought you might highlight, but I guess you like Sonic more than you like kart racing games. But I quite like the look of Sonic Racing Crossworlds. I like the look of that. I didn't pick up the previous Sonic Racing game, but I thought it looked okay. This one I think looks even better.
Yeah. I'm not into the Sonic racing games just because of the way they feel. And I think Mario Kart's kind of ruined me on that. Every kart racing game I play, I feel should play like Mario Kart because it's the ultimate feeling game for little racers. And it could be this, Mod Nation Racers, Little Big Planet Karting, any of those types of games, I pick them up, it doesn't play the same, and I put it down. The thing I do like about this
is quite a cool mechanic. Like it's going to be interesting how it plays out, where there's kind of like portals to alternate worlds, and it's interesting to see how that works. But which I'm sure is reliant on a super sexy drive.
Yeah, apparently how some of that works is whoever's in the lead going into the next lap can kind of pick which lap you're going into, and the course changes based on their decision, basically.
That's
so that
cool.
could be interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Well, did I pick that? I didn't put that on my list, did I?
You did
not.
No.
Silly me. No, that's a shame. Yeah. Good pick, Tim. That's coming out some point. Well, they haven't actually announced. Sorry, they have not given. They have not given a date. Lost Soul aside.
Yeah.
Did anyone check that out?
So this is the. I got lots of Devil May Cry vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Devil May Cry vibes from it, and this is from the
Devil May vibes.
What? Devil May
Devil May vibes.
Devil May vibes. Not sure where to go with that. This was the studio he was just kind of like a solo indie developer for a bit, but I'm assuming now he's got a slightly bigger team behind him. This is
team of 100, I believe.
Team of 100.
That's slightly bigger than one.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
One.
Congratulations, Tim. That's how numbers work.
Yeah.
If I got that right, that's the Chinese studio?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I saw some, so it looks fantastic, really good. I like the art style. I like the way that the video looks. However, I did watch some videos from some guys analyzing the video that said there might be some trickery in video editing to make it look smoother than the game would actually perform. And apparently it's quite a big practice with a lot of Chinese developers.
No.
So we'll see how that goes. If it plays anywhere near as good as it looks, I'd be in for that. Even though, character going through mystical lands and using magical powers to hack and slash your way to save your sister. I like the sounds of that, and that's coming out some point this year.
There did seem to be a slight theme to a few of their games where there seemed to be a kind of, and I know this was saying this is Chinese, but kind of Japanese influence style hack and slash, where there's either a hero or heroine, one of them not entirely well dressed, and you hacking and slashing your way to rescuing someone or something. There seem to be a few games that kind of a few of them melded together in my mind.
Of the
I
name one more.
The Asian video game industry, right?
Most of them, but
yeah. Are you thinking of Stellar Blade, the Korean hack and slash game?
I mean, there's that as well. Like, it seems that every Asian country needs to make a hack and slash with a slightly badly dressed woman. And I don't mean, she doesn't look well.
You say badly.
She's not badly as in
I think
not well dressed.
No,
as
barely.
In not
I think he's
wearing as many clothes as a normal human being would. But anyway, yeah.
There's a term for that, Tim. It's called based.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Down with the kids.
That's why.
I'm also surprised you didn't highlight two other games in this list as well, Mr. Coleman.
Why is that?
Are you not excited for The Island?
No. But I am excited for another WWE.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited for another WWE 2K game. I do not need the giant social hub that's based around a thing that Paul Heyman says on the mic when he's introducing Roman Reigns.
It was like PlayStation Home had basically necked a bottle of steroids, is basically what it was.
I thought you might not be entirely excited about that.
Also, I did try to mostly include like new announcements, and WWE 2K25, like they showed that off last month, I think. But yeah, I'm excited to get in, do wrestles with my mates on WrestleMania evening and all that, and it's fun times. But this is the thing I did notice in the comments as well when I was ripping videos for the show. But it was all the NBA 2K players going, now you know what it feels like for us, because they've been doing this weird social hub stuff for the 2K NBA games for a while now, and now it's WWE's turn.
Yeah, that's.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing I'm looking forward to, though.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you one thing I'm looking forward to. Coleman, I think you're looking forward to this as well, is Directive 8020.
I think Tim's looking forward to this
as well. So all three of us, look to Mercy, looking forward to it. So this is from the makers of Until Dawn and The Quarry, I believe, where, hey, it's going through a nice jaunt through space and everything's fine. You're in cryosleep, then you get woken up and holy crap, there's a big hole in the ship. What's going on? That is the summary of the trailer. You're welcome.
It's also worth mentioning, you said about the Supermassive Games, the developers of The Quarry and Until Dawn, but also the developers of the Dark Pictures anthology universe, which this is a part of.
Yes, this is like...
Oh, is it?
This is like the next set of Dark anthology things. They did tease the fact in the last Dark anthology game that they were going sci-fi for their next setting. This kind of fleshes out a bit more details, but it does look really impressive. Like, I saw a lot of people saying that they seem to have toned down the fact that this is it's not dark anthology, colon, whatever. It's more like, this is a game. And also, by the way, it's a dark anthology.
That's definitely
game.
a brand new setting.
Quietly afterwards.
Yeah,
but I think that's kind of sensible.
It's just
going
a Dark
in a different
Pictures
direction.
game now.
Yeah, but it looks cool. Like, I thought it looked really intriguing. I think some more people might get on board with this. I like the formula for these games. They've been making good games with this sort of formula for a while now. It didn't really show you gameplay, but it is likely to be the same sort of search around the environment and then maybe kind of going into kind of quick-timey type events and quick decisions you need to make to save different characters, and then having a split story where some characters can survive and some may not. And yeah, like I really like Supermassive Games, and this one looks even more in my wheelhouse, being a sci-fi horror setting. So yeah, I'm up for that. It looks very good.
Yep, I like sci-fi horror. You know what else I like?
What?
Claymation.
Yes, you do.
Do you like claymation horror?
Yes, and that's why I like the look of The Midnight Walk. The Midnight Walk. This looks so creepy, this game.
Yeah.
It just looks like, it looks awesome, but also so wrong at the same time.
This is the team behind Lost in Random, and I believe there was a kind of semi-spin-off to that game as well, or semi-sequel to that game. And they've gone all out for this, which it's a handcrafted dark adventure that just harkens back to kind of Tim Burton claymation-looking projects. And I'm all there. I'm there for this. But also, this game plays like a regular game, but also it has a VR mode available as well for both PC and PlayStation. So huzzah, we've got a VR game to play.
This
graphical
really
style,
huzzah VR,
awesome in VR. I think. I was a bit surprised because it didn't look like it was going to be a conventional first-person shooter, and that seems to be because this was the first time we really got to see gameplay. That seemed to be what the trailer was hinting at, which is a bit, I wouldn't say disappointing, but it was surprising. Like, I'm surprised that that's where this was going because it didn't look like that was where it was going. But yeah, okay. I'm still intrigued. It still looks cool.
Shooters work in VR, I think.
That is true.
That is true. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I like if I'm not getting along with the VR. I mean, if anyone isn't getting along with the VR, and you just unplug it and play it as a regular game.
Yeah.
That's great. Mm-hmm. I love when they do that. Another thing I love though when they do is bring back games that I used to play on the PlayStation 2 and on the old Xbox and other consoles. We just had this with Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden's back. It's getting its sequel finally. And Onimusha is following suit as well. We got Onimusha Way of the Sword.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This looked awesome. I never played any of the originals, but I'm more keen to go back and play 2 now that they showed more of Way of the Sword because it looks fantastic. Some of the stuff they were showing with the physics of like wrapping people up in cloths and like interacting with the environments with swordplay. I was like, okay, you're doing some new stuff that I haven't seen anyone else do. This looks really cool. Like, there does seem to be an abundance of like game set in this kind of time period and sword-based combat, there seems to be quite a few between Ghost of Yotai coming up, and it's a much more crowded market than when they first kind of probably went down the path of making this game. But they do seem to be doing enough of their individual things and adding a new bit of flavor and stuff to it with that physics-based stuff that I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see where you're going for. I am on board.
Blended. Yeah, it looks good. It's quite. I wasn't
really cool.
expecting to see Onimusha kind of be revived in this way. And apparently, they've licensed the face of a famous Japanese actor for it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
They have, in the same way that my face is available for licensing for action RPGs as well. Just saying. Not just T-shirts.
In the same way the Injustice 2 renders kind of freaked you out back in the day, Dan, where the faces look really good, but the teeth look terrifying. They've got the same kind of issue with this one. There's something about the teeth. I don't know what it is.
There's been enough reality stars put in front of me on TV to become slightly less terrified by strange teeth in odd-looking faces. So
just you wait till they go to Turkey and come back with them big old white Ryland teeth. Freak you out.
Piano keys inside your face.
Oh, my gosh. Biggest I can get in there and all.
Big horse teeth.
Yeah, massive. Just one big tooth.
Why the long teeth, Coleman?
Hell is us.
Hell is us.
Cool.
It is. Again, this is one that I slightly confused with other games in the thing. I couldn't tell you which one was which between Hell is Us, Lost Soul Aside, and Tides of Annihilation. They've all got weird 3-word titles that I don't remember which one's which.
Okay.
This is one with the with big fat cigarette smoking man, if that helps.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
It's got that kind. I mean, so this immediately spells out to me because it's that post-apocalyptic looking. It's that Death Strander kind of vibe to it. It's absolutely gorgeous looking, with a bunch of depression, and I like that. So that's my kind of game.
Yeah.
I do like the look
Very
of it.
cheery.
I just, it kind of this and other things. And what was the other one that looked kind of GTA-like that I don't seem to see on the list as well? Was that Metal Eden? Was that one?
Metal Eden, I think?
Maybe.
No, that can't be right. There was another one. There was something on there that I cannot remember.
There was another one that was kind of futuristic looking, made by some of the people that did GTA and looked a bit GTA-like, but with futuristic cars and futuristic setting and androids and things.
Are you having a fever dream about Sonic?
No, he's right.
No, I'm right. I think it's one that's not on the list.
Oh, yeah.
I might have accidentally missed something.
Yeah.
That's all
but
right.
as I said, there's a few games that
it's from
Builder
Rocket Boy.
Actual credentials blended one. That's why overall I don't think this was a great presentation because it didn't they seem to be throwing quite a lot at us. I think they could have kept some of the ones that are for 2026 and kind of kept them in their back pocket and kind of fleshed out some of the details on a few more of these games a little bit more. Like
Mind's Eye.
That's it. Mind's Eye.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I thought
Sorry,
that one
I missed it off the list.
and cool. But yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that too and I forgot it.
That's okay.
It's all good.
You had a lot to do, Mr. Coleman. We'll forgive you.
I did have a lot to do. Okay, Tides of Annihilation. I liked the look of that. That's we've got to rush through these now. That hasn't gotten a release date yet, though. Metal Eden is out on the 6th of May. And Saros, that was the big one from. That was the big headline game from Housemarque, or Housemarque, as some people tend to call them. And it looks like it's going to be kind of the spiritual successor to Returnal in the
a return to Returnal.
No bad thing. Returnal was great. Love that game.
Yes,
I definitely didn't just install it and forget to play it.
Needs a VR mode, but anyway. But yeah, so
no, it
interesting. Cool. I like the fact that they're doing a bit more with it and not necessarily tying themselves to make a sequel, so they're not tied to the exact formula of the previous game and can go off in a slightly different direction. I think that's fairly sensible. Look cool though. Looks interesting.
Yarp.
Yeah, I've got the same kind of sentiment as you to the state of play, Tim, where I was excited about this. They didn't I don't believe they gave us any indication that this was going to be more focused on partners and less on the main PlayStation studios. Because, I thought we were going to see more on Ghost of Yotai. I thought we could maybe see the rumored Bloodborne remake. There was a lot of stuff that I thought would be.
They've got another one coming up at the end of, conveniently coming up at the end of the financial year, I believe. So
they'll be doing they've got a spring and a summer one planned. I assume they have a winter one planned also. It would make sense. But when you look at the last Xbox developer presentation they did, what was that? 6 games, and 2 of them were like, and it's available now. And everything else was like, this is on Game Pass. Here's a top quality looking game. You can get it through our platform. This is how it looks. Great. This felt more like, when they do the partner presentations for Nintendo Direct, and it's just like, and we're chucking this out, and we're chucking this out, and this is available. And you can get that as like, this needed cutting down severely.
It felt too scattergun. I think they could have done with like actually sectioning things off and actually making it like, this is what's available in the spring, and then doing all the games that are available in the spring. This is what's available in the summer, this is what's available in the winter, and this is what's coming further down the line. Like, I think they could have done with actually sectioning off so you got a better idea of when the games are coming. Right. The other thing they mentioned that we didn't really get to was Borderlands 4. Like, somehow Randy spawned another Randy and had a terrible shirt as well.
Because he's Randy.
And like Borderlands 4 looked kind of fun, but it kind of just got lost in the shuffle of everything.
A lot of the games it was hard to
concentrate on what the game was. And as I said, it just ended up like a lot of the titles like merging together and me going, I don't even know what that one was. You forgot about a game that you were really excited about. That seemed to be the overall takeaway from the thing, was just like, I don't think this was well presented, basically, was my kind of overall feeling.
I think me and the man called Rick may have missed the Borderlands footage because we were too busy making fun of Randy Pitchford.
His shirt was terrible. Like, it probably cost more than I've spent this year, but it looked absolutely
Does he own
horrific.
more than... Does he own more shirts than that one shirt? Because I swear I've seen him on 4 different occasions wearing that one shirt. One of them being the announcement of Borderlands 3.
No, he has several shirts. They're all just the same shirt. I think
he's
not wearing the same shirt each time. It's just his wardrobe is just full of that shirt.
I mean, the risk of throwing stones, not too dissimilar to
leave it.
The one you're
leave it. Leave
Just need like a big collar and some big cuffs on it. Do some magic tricks. Don't look at his USB drive, whatever you do.
Nothing up my sleeves because they're really terrible.
I've nothing to say, Your Honour.
Right, let's skip the rest of the news, and because we do have to get out of here. Can we get the plugs in? And I have a question.
I think we can remind people
cool.
That even though we're in a rush, there's always time to buy things with my face on it. That's right, my face, other bits of you. I'm trying to say it in a way that doesn't sound gross and disgusting, but you can put my face on your personage by going to tpublic.com/store/BRB. Buy my face on stuff, not my actual face. It's a license. It's not even licensed. I'm not even making money off of it. Tim basically stole my face, put it on some t-shirts, and now you can buy those t-shirts.
Face off.
Capitalism's
face off.
I stole your face and then handed it to Tim. Really,
yeah, that's how
it
makes me feel a whole lot better about it. Thank you.
Third party face off.
Yes.
And as Tim alluded to last week, you could get Dan's face printed onto a cushion, so you could sit on Dan's face. Sit on Dan's face. Randy Pitchford shirt.
Next.
Sit on Randy Dan's face.
Dan's burning a shirt after this episode.
Yep, I am never to be seen again. Tim, Tuesday's a Tuesday. Tell us about Tuesday.
Tuesday is indeed Tuesday, and this Tuesday and each and every Tuesday we do an event called Tabletop Tuesday at the Loading Bar in Stoke, Newington. Each Tuesday we have a different feature game. If you play that feature game that evening, you have a chance of winning a copy of the game at the end of the evening. This week's feature game is a little cool-looking card game called Flip 7. Yeah, it's a very cool little game. Quick to play. Does, I think, between 3 to 99 players, which is interesting. So we'll see how many players we can get in one game. But it should be a good one. If you come along and try the game out this Tuesday, you can possibly win a copy just by trying it out on the evening. If you'd like some more details, you can check out more details on the right-hand side of bigredbarrel.com. Or join the 2,200 plus people in our meetup group. Search for Tabletop Tuesdays on meetup.com, or just come along to the loading bar in Stoke Newington on Tuesday and you could win a copy of Flip 7.
Splendid.
I just have to confirm, while you were Tabletop Tuesday.
Yeah.
I typed in Randy Pitchford ugly shirt.
Oh my God.
3 different pictures from 3 different events at 3 different time periods. It is that shirt that he was wearing on the PlayStation State of Play.
He really
including
likes that
the reveal of Borderlands 3. I'm telling you, I think that's his magician shirt, because that's the one he wears when he does tricks.
Oh,
you're right.
I can tell you that shirt is not magic.
Times.
I can tell you that much.
That's really tickled me. Sorry. If you've enjoyed this show, you're a weirdo. Thank you. We love you. All that. Go to bigredbarrel.com. We have posts, podcasts. We've got videos. Go check us out. See what we do over there. Also, you can find links to our social media sites and a link to our Discord. Be sure to go over Discord. You can talk to us, ask us questions, look at us like animals behind the glass, poke us through the bars. I've gone from glass to bars. That's what we do now. And bars. You can ask us when you're there. You can ask us questions, but if you do, you have to do it in such a way where you say it loud and you say it proud. I have a question, and I want to pick Joke Sound, or as we like to call him, it's Ed. He says, if we did a drinking game next week for next week's podcast, what rules should there be? And
there are no
I alluded
rules.
to you guys off mic. I typed this into one of the ChatGPTs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it came up with a set of rules. And the reason I have to read this is because it's scarily accurate.
Okay. Hit me with it.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Yep.
Production, innit?
Yeah.
So, grab your favorite beverage and get ready to raise a glass while listening to the BRB UK podcast.
Right.
Take a sip when Tim mentions VR. Coleman goes on a rant about live service games.
Yep.
Dan makes a terrible pun, or an amazing one. Same thing, really. Someone forgets what they were talking about mid-sentence. The hosts speak over a guest.
Oh.
Ooh.
The crew struggles to remember a release date. Somebody goes on a tangent about how games used to be.
Yep.
Take a big gulp when a game is described as janky but fun. A listener question leads to a ridiculous tangent, like making up a game show section. Tim talks about the time he went to E3.
Hey!
Dan gets excited about a tech spec that no one cares about.
Yeah!
Coleman abuses the soundboard too much. I never do that.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Finish
like
your drink.
5 times in 1 second, Coleman.
Nice.
Finish your drink when a host arguably facepalms or sighs in frustration. Someone forgets the name of a game mid-discussion. A joke completely derails the episode for more than a minute. Mike Bithel's past appearances on the shows are referenced.
Oh, okay.
The podcast ends with an awkward outro.
Wow.
Yeah.
AI doing some good work there.
So we can guarantee that every episode you finish your drink at the end of it.
Yeah.
I think we can guarantee that. It's a good thing. Oh, nice. Good work, AI.
All right.
Good work.
Be replacing us all soon.
No, just you, Tim. Just you.
Okay.
Again.
That's fine.
So all I did, I went through and I deleted some ones that were a bit like, that makes no sense. And I left all the ones that did make sense. And I was quite scared by them because it's like, it is accurate. If you ask any AI service to write a description of this show, then it's pretty spot on. There's that Google service where you just put a URL in and it reads the site, and then it creates a podcast with 2 AI presenters describing what the site is, like the news and the week based on that website. And I did it on Big Red Barrel, and I think I sent it to you guys. And that was a bit weird as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, AI.
I
welcome our AI overlords for when we're in prison.
Yes.
Doing the silicon mines.
We are going to have to go because Tim said he needs to be done by 7 p.m. and that was 14 minutes ago.
Yeah, 14 minutes ago.
So we are going to wrap things up. Thank you for coming along and listening to us, be it live or be it in edited form. We will be back in some shape or form next week, I am sure. Make sure to go to all the places on the internet that we usually tell you to go to. Those are the ones with bigredbarrel.com in it, such as bigredbarrel.com or all of the social media sites. I can't remember which one. Basically,
or tpublic.com/stores/BRB or meetup.com/tabletop Tuesdays.
Yes, those. Or discord.com/invite/Muntuhafwa, which is where we all hang out. So we'll be back soon. Thank you for joining us. All that's really left to do is to remind you that I have been Dan.
I might have been Tim.
I'm Randy from Gearbox.
At least you're not
and so's that
shirt back. Yeah. So, until next time, dear listeners, toodle bye.
Quite welcome.
For the podcasting goodness that you just heard.
Why not roll on over
to BigRedBarrel.com
for more podcasts,
news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet. BigRedBarrel.com.
You will you get XP for taking down the bad guys, and then you will unlock upgrades. There'll be 4 on screen that pop up, and you will pick one of those upgrades. You'll get.
So
more
I'm
powerful,
guessing I know where the survivor name comes into the equation.
Yeah,
here,
yeah. So